Scenario analysis, not financial advice. We're exploring BitMine Immersion Technologies, BMNR, and its potential transformation from a miner to a yield-generating Ethereum infrastructure company. Let's delve into why regulatory changes could be a game-changer for BMNR. Our analysis hinges on key assumptions. The passage of the U.S. Clarity Act and Crypto Market Structure Bill in 2026, stablecoins exceeding $3 trillion with 60% settlement on Ethereum, and Ethereum becoming the dominant global settlement layer. BMNR, owning approximately 3.86 million ETH, aims for 5% of the total supply. Staking begins in January 2026 with a net 4% yield. Dilution stops, and ETH behaves as financial infrastructure. Now, let's examine how regulatory clarity could unlock significant opportunities. Regulatory clarity unlocks institutional stablecoins, paving the way for wider adoption and integration into traditional finance. Tokenized RWAs and regulated Ethereum staking become viable options, attracting institutional investment and driving market growth. This leads to infrastructure-grade cash flows. The regulatory landscape is crucial for unlocking these opportunities. Without clear regulations, institutional players remain hesitant. However, with the passage of key legislation, the landscape could dramatically shift. Imagine a world where stablecoins are fully integrated into the financial system. This is the potential that regulatory clarity unlocks. Tokenized real-world assets, RWAs, also stand to benefit significantly. Regulatory clarity provides the necessary framework for secure and compliant tokenization. This could revolutionize industries like real estate, commodities, and art. Furthermore, regulated Ethereum staking becomes a viable option for institutions. This allows them to earn yield on their ETH holdings in a compliant manner. The combination of these factors leads to infrastructure-grade cash flows. These are stable, predictable revenue streams that are essential for long-term growth. These cash flows are similar to those generated by traditional infrastructure assets. Think of toll roads, utilities, or pipelines. They provide a consistent stream of revenue that is relatively immune to market volatility. In summary, regulatory clarity is the key to unlocking Ethereum's full potential. It enables institutional adoption, drives market growth, and generates infrastructure-grade cash flows. For BMNR, this could mean a significant transformation in its business model. The company could transition from a miner to a yield-generating Ethereum infrastructure company. This would be a significant shift, but one that could potentially unlock significant value. The key is the passage of the U.S. Clarity Act and Crypto Market Structure Bill in 2026. Without these regulations, the potential benefits may not materialize. So, regulatory clarity is not just important, it's essential for BMNR's long-term success. It's the foundation upon which the company's future growth is built. This is why we are focusing on this aspect in our scenario analysis. Understanding the potential impact of regulatory changes is crucial. It allows us to assess the risks and opportunities associated with BMNR's transformation. By considering different regulatory scenarios, we can better understand the company's potential. This is the essence of scenario analysis, exploring different possibilities. It's not about predicting the future, but about preparing for it. So, let's continue to explore the potential impact of regulatory changes on BMNR. By doing so, we can gain a deeper understanding of the company's long-term prospects. This will help us make more informed investment decisions. Remember, this is not financial advice. We are simply exploring a potential scenario based on key assumptions. It's important to do your own research and consult with a financial advisor before making any investment decisions. The regulatory landscape is constantly evolving, so it's important to stay informed. By staying up to date on the latest developments, you can better assess the risks and opportunities. This will help you make more informed decisions about your investments. So, let's continue to monitor the regulatory landscape and its potential impact on BMNR. This is a key factor in our long-term valuation of the company. Understanding the regulatory environment is crucial for assessing the company's future prospects. Next decade stocks understanding tomorrow's infrastructure today. Building on these assumptions, Ethereum's value is poised to increase materially. With over $3 trillion in stablecoins, real-world asset, RWA, settlement, and the fee burn mechanism, ETH could reach approximately $5,000 in 2026. By 2030, projections range from $15,000 to $25,000, and by 2035, $30,000 to $50,000. BMNR's evolution centers on its substantial ETH treasury, large-scale staking operations, and the generation of recurring revenue streams, rendering dilution a less significant factor. Staking 3.86 million ETH at a net 4% yield translates to hundreds of millions, potentially billions, in annual cash flow. This transforms the company's financial outlook dramatically. BMNR's valuation floor is effectively set by the value of its ETH holdings. The staking cash flow then determines the valuation multiple applied to those holdings. As a result, the company's market capitalization is projected to grow significantly from 2026 to 2035. This growth translates into per-share price ranges based on approximately 200 million shares outstanding. For example, consider the potential scenarios. However, several risks must be considered. These include verification risks, custody concerns, and execution challenges. Regulatory reversals and the inherent volatility of ETH also pose threats. The assumptions are critical. If regulatory clarity doesn't materialize or stablecoin adoption lags, the entire thesis could be invalidated. Similarly, technological setbacks or security breaches could derail the projections. Despite these risks, BMNR presents a high-risk, asymmetric Ethereum infrastructure play if these assumptions hold true. The potential upside is substantial, but the downside risks are equally significant. Investors must carefully weigh these factors before considering an investment. This analysis is part of a broader exploration of next decade stocks, aiming to understand tomorrow's infrastructure today. It's about identifying companies positioned to benefit from long-term technological trends. The focus is on foundational layers and enabling technologies. These are the building blocks of the future economy. BMNR's potential transformation into an Ethereum infrastructure company aligns with this vision. It's a bet on the continued growth and adoption of the Ethereum ecosystem. However, it's a bet that requires careful consideration of the associated risks. The regulatory landscape, technological advancements, and market dynamics will all play a role. Monitoring these factors will be crucial for assessing the viability of this investment thesis. The future of finance is being built today. Companies like BMNR are at the forefront of this transformation. Understanding their potential and the risks they face is essential for navigating this evolving landscape. This scenario analysis provides a framework for evaluating BMNR's potential. It's a starting point for further research and due diligence. The future is uncertain, but informed decisions can help navigate the path ahead. The key is to stay informed, adapt to changing circumstances, and manage risk effectively. The potential rewards are significant, but the risks are real. Investing in the future requires a balanced approach. It's about understanding the potential and mitigating the risks. BMNR's story is just one example of the opportunities and challenges that lie ahead. The Ethereum ecosystem is constantly evolving. Staying ahead of the curve requires continuous learning and adaptation. This analysis is a contribution to that process. It's about sharing insights and fostering informed discussion. The goal is to empower investors to make better decisions. The future is being built today. Be a part of it. Understand the risks. Seize the opportunities. Invest wisely. The journey continues. The future awaits. Next decade stocks.